Ultraman has a lot of video games. Like, a lot of video games. Ever since the merchandising boom of the 80s, the Ultra series has seen a variety of genres and consoles over the years. But today we're not talking about any of the official stuff. No, it's time to talk about Chaiyo. The long and short of it is that Chaiyo is, and/or was, I actually don't know if they're around anymore, a Thailand-based company who claimed illegitimate international ownership of the first 6 Ultra shows following their collaboration with Tsuburaya Productions on the film Hanuman vs. 7 Ultraman. There were a number of court cases in the decades that followed, and it was eventually settled in Tsuburaya's favor in 2018. Which is why the United States has been seeing a deluge of Blu-rays and DVD releases lately. Chaiyo did get a couple DVD releases out, but these are out of print and technically considered illegitimate releases. If you see anything with that specific Ultraman logo and not this one, it's a Chaiyo approved release. But during Chaiyo's decades-spanning illegitimate ownership, they produced more than a handful of technically bootleg video games. One of them being Ultraman Episode 1, the Taro adventure. As far as I'm aware, despite being labeled Episode 1, it never received an Episode 2. This title was one of the 9 games Chaiyo produced, this one being developed by Cyberplanet Interactive. Maybe I'll cover the other games they cranked out some other time, but I'll just take a look at this one for now. This game is an icon of sin that I willingly let into my home. My days are numbered. Anyways, let's play it. Wait a sec, why is this rated T? It's really tame. It's E10 at most. Gotta say, it's a wonder this thing was able to boot on Windows 10. I genuinely thought I would have to emulate a Windows XP in a virtual machine or something, but nah, it works. It's forced into full screen and refuses to be captured by anything other than desktop recording, and the graphics turn into this if you Alt-Tab even once, but hey, I got the footage I needed. If the title and cover aren't clear enough, in this game you play exclusively as Ultraman Taro, because he's one of the ones Chaiyo stole. The Taro adventure is a very, and I mean very monotonous side-scrolling beat-em-up, where you head left to right and beat up monsters. I cannot express enough how ecstatic I was that this game had cutscenes, because it meant I would be getting a taste of Chaiyo's very strange and gross interpretation of how the Ultra series should work. In honesty, these actually look okay. A little crusty because they're FMVs on a PC game from the early 2000s, but they look decently produced. And yeah, true to its origins, everyone in this game looks like a weird bootleg. The graphics are reminiscent of Donkey Kong Country, in that these are all digitized sprites of 3D models. It's kind of charming in a way, but it also just looks ugly. Zeton's got some strange proportions, Alien Knuckle looks like he's got sores all over his body, and Alien Pit looks a little, skin tight too. Wow. Taro himself looks like he has underpants painted onto him. It kinda gives me Dragon Force Ultraman vibes, and those are not the vibes you want to give. It's less like you're playing as Ultraman Taro, and more like you're playing as a homunculus wearing his skin. I mean, that's essentially what every Chaiyo product feels like to me, so at least it's on brand with how off-brand it is. Surprisingly, the version of Mephilus that's in this game is the one seen in the actual Taro show, so you know they did a little bit of research on which one is the correct one for the game. Kaiju names are misspelled, though in fairness that happens on official stuff too. Taro takes orders from the attack team Zat for some reason. Like, yeah, his human host did that, but here they're ordering Taro specifically around. You have to rebind the keys every time you restart the game. And everyone speaks in stilted English. I mentally hear this dialogue through text-to-speech.
Oh, Taro. It looks like the attackers are not Borton aliens alone. Both aliens and monsters are attacking. If they succeed, Earth will be in trouble. Taro, please protect our oil fields.
Okay, don't worry.
Just everything about this game feels wrong, including the gameplay. So this game presents this level select screen that made me think it was going to be like a Mega Man type beat where you select a stage and fight a boss, but it's actually a linear experience, and the stage select is just there to let you go back and get more points. Yes, points. Points that you use to upgrade Taro's abilities. This is actually a cool idea, and it's a system in the game that actually kinda works. You gain points by defeating enemies that you use to increase Taro's health, energy, and the amount of damage his moves do. These special moves can be activated by doing a button combo like a fighting game, but some moves are just better, and that makes certain moves more irrelevant than others. I found the Horn Beam was fairly inexpensive and came out fast enough before it could be interrupted. It's ideal for dealing with a horde of enemies. His Storium Beam is also pretty powerful, but the enemy can interrupt it fairly easily. This is what it sounds like when you hit a bunch of enemies with a beam, by the way. Very pleasant. The combat in this game just doesn't feel good at all. The enemy can attack you on frame 1. It necessitates spamming special moves. Combine that with a gameplay loop of entering a stage and beating up the same hordes of enemies over and over again. Throw in some shitty platforming, and what's left is a really dull experience. You can run past all the enemies in certain stages. It's pretty busted. If there are any positives, the game makes use of music from all across the Showa era, all of which was likely used without permission considering this is a Chaiyo joint, but you get to hear plenty of Fuyuki and Miyauchi incidental tracks here. I actually tried to finish this one, but I just didn't have the patience for it. The gameplay stinks, the graphics are ugly, it's just an unpleasant time. Made worse by the knowledge that crummy products like this were emblematic of copyright disputes that prevented the Ultra series from being as widely distributed in America. Luckily, some brave soul had more patience for this game than me and got to the end, and they uploaded it all to YouTube.
Good of you to come this far. You're about to stop breathing, Taro.
I got this game for an absurdly cheap price on Amazon. They're practically giving these things away for free, but I still wouldn't recommend playing it. It's certainly a novelty to own, I guess, but the game is not good. But yeah, that's the video. I'm gonna go away now. Bye. Have a good day. Bye. But not without crediting my patrons first for helping make videos like this one possible. I know I said that the next video would be on Ultraman 80, but I'm experiencing a bit of burnout on that right now, and I wanted to put something out, so this is something. Also, I'm working on the Halloween special right now, and that's dividing my attention. Anyways, here is a shout out to the top patrons. Manila Fan, Gazner, Sampai, Ors, Golden Made Me an Ultraman Fan, Swoosh McJuice, Navek15, Jacob Hinch, Dude Bro, Griffith J. Hertenstein, Alastair Gilmore, Seamus Kelly, Anonymous Euronymous 1349, Fujoshi Urinal, Driller, Ryman Ruin, Mulan Nguyen, Ultraman Taro vs. Leo, Irrelevant 402, Hey I'm Mooney, Krazak53, Koman, Queer Kaiju, Chronicler Waba, Alcoholic Alligators, Ryan Santa Cruz, Avok Robot, The Antagonist, Richard Ciavardon, It's Godz, Bigodilo, An Actual Demetrodon, CMG, Red Comet Harry, and Marpzilla. Thank you all very much.